Hello, I'm Dunk Dinkle, and this is the Brave State of the Alliance. The state of Brave is strong. All right, let's get to it. Let's talk about the war right away. Basically, Winterco has stopped the war. They're on pause. They're on holiday. So they continue to defend their structures, so they'll show up if we reinforce them. But we're just kind of waiting to see what they do to some degree. We will continue to reinforce those structures. We'll see if they continue to defend, and we'll see where this goes. I think previously we were concerned about the Imperium and PanFam deploying into Pureblind, that they were going to take a specific side in the war. That hasn't seemed to have occurred. They're here mainly for fights, it seems. I think I guess they're testing new doctrines, but when they bring something like these vulture fleets, I'm not sure what we're supposed to do against those. Although the other time we did wipe out a bunch of paladins. So let's see how that goes. Doesn't seem like they're really here to take space or do serious damage. Like much of Eve, they're looking for something to do. Fiscally, we're doing pretty well for being in the middle of a war. The new tax system seems to be working well. Our reserves are going up. We're still investing in new things going down in our space. So I'm glad to see that we have our good fiscal and industrial policy going well. So for now, when it comes to the war, we really just need to keep our guard up and push on their structures when those fleets are called. We're going to be trying to take them down when we can. Maybe they'll get distracted one of these days. The time zone tanking is an issue for both sides in this war. And so that's what we're facing here, is hoping for some good rolls on when the reinforcement timers come out. So with the war in a bit of a pause, I don't think we have to be so serious business about spaceships right now. So this should allow us some time to have more fun than we usually do when we're more serious. So it would be good to see some Atron fleets going out, some meme roams. Go out there and have fun. This is supposed to be an enjoyable game. And I think that it's time for us to be doing some fun stuff, not being so serious business. When our stuff's being attacked, we need to respond and take that seriously. But there's a lot of times where people are sitting around looking for something to do. So let's try some fun things. All right. Speaking of fun things, it is almost Halloween here in October. We are ready with all our full-size candy that we give out for Halloween, and I, as a tradition, have got some Hostess stuff here. We have the Hostess Scary Cakes and the Ding Dongs with Scream Filling to try. They're creepy caramel, evidently. All limited edition, of course. There's no way they're back there. So I'm going to try the cupcake first. Pretty standard chocolate cupcake. Nothing really too special about it. Now, I am looking forward to a Ding Dong. Now, for those who don't know what a Ding Dong is, it's like a chocolate-covered cake of a cupcake with some filling inside. So, obviously, you keep these in the fridge before you eat them. Delicious. I love a Ding Dong. The cake itself is supposed to be caramel flavored. I don't really taste a lot of that. It's a little brownish, caramel colored. I don't know. I don't taste a huge difference, but I'll eat a Ding Dong any day. All right. A few more things to talk about. The Uprising expansion. CCP is staking a lot on this Uprising expansion that's going to happen one of these days. I know they're testing the faction warfare stuff. We really can't get into the faction warfare stuff just yet until they put in the allegiance system sometime next year. But there are a lot of interesting things coming in the expansion. For me personally, I am super excited about the expansion of the watch lists, where you can have a lot more people on your watch list for fleets, which is great. And also Alliance fittings. Alliance fittings will be fantastic. It will create a lot less chaos when things are starting up, when you can look at the Alliance fittings and see the standard fitting no matter what corp you're in Brave. So those are the kind of things that make my naughty bits tingle. Of course, on the PvP side, the changes to hacks are going to be huge across New Eden. So much of the last, I don't know, 3 years has been hacks online. That appears to be shifting, changing. A lot of nerfing of ranges to try and make the hacks more brawlers. The unit itself is getting a huge makeover, going from turrets to launchers. There's going to be likely a lot of changes to existing doctrines to deal with this. With changes to some, and some will just be like, hey, we're not going to use that ship anymore. So it'll be very interesting to see where the game takes as far as PvP these hacks and how that's going to change the meta of large fleet fights, whether we're going to go to battleships or it reinforces this thing like the retribution fleets, things like that, harpy fleets. We'll see where it goes. Expect change and expect our doctrines to evolve over time. So if you're on the industry and marketplace side, please don't overcommit when we announce a new doctrine, because you could get caught holding too much of something that just doesn't work out in reality. With the expansion, CCP is really trying to address a lot of the players' concerns. There has been a lot of frustration in EVE across the gamut, even myself, about things going on. And much of it is warranted, some of it is unwarranted. But I'm asking you to be willing to try some new things and to be brave and to give this expansion the benefit of the doubt to kind of try out some of the things. There's going to be changes from top to bottom, from industry changes to faction warfare stuff to the hack changes. All kinds of things are changing in this game. A ton of small fixes to the UI that are going to make a difference. So, it's easy to go on one of the EVE talk shows and complain about things, but I'm asking you to, let's give it a try. If things still suck in another couple months, I'll be honest with you and tell you they suck. But let's give this a try. Get people into fleets. There's a lot of laughing and joking on comms that I think we all enjoy. Briefly, we'll talk about our markets and industry. That seems to be going really well. The marketplace in FTAC-N seems really well stocked. We have a fairly quick response when we run out of something. So kudos to all the people involved with that. Again, use the Pureblind Stock Me Slack channel and the Marketplace Slack channel when you notice things that need to be stocked in our markets. There's a lot of stuff going on across New Eden as people are preparing for some of these new doctrines. It's strange to see some of the things that are getting bought out in JITA are getting bought out in JITA, so somebody knows something, I don't know. The last big thing I want to talk about is staying classy. We always struggle with this. EVE is a game of passion, and people get passionate and emotional, myself included. And there's been some unclassiness reported in comms of people using slurs occasionally, things like that. And that's really the line we don't like crossed, is a bunch of slurs in comms. So I'm asking you to please speak up about it. If somebody says something they shouldn't, you can say, hey, we don't use that word here, or something like that. It's not always the easiest thing to go back a day later when we get a report through HR to kind of address something. It's always more powerful and more effective if when somebody says something that they shouldn't, maybe don't really mean it in a bad way, maybe in another gaming group it's okay to say those words. But you could just say, hey, we don't use that word here. I'd really appreciate that. The last thing I would remind you of is that all the other players are just other people playing a spaceship game to alleviate the frustration and horrors of modern life. No one wants to get their nose rubbed into things and reminded of tough things over and over and over. I know a lot of people in EVE like to do that, bring up things from years ago, but it's really not the thing to do. I'll give you an example. So this week we had a big victory. We were able to tackle and kill Mavel's super, which he'd been flying around FTAC-N for quite a while, causing havoc. That is really nice work done by all to catch a nano super like that. People did a great job, able to hold it in place, defang it. Great work. And some memes about it are good. But I think at a certain point, like I said, no one likes to get their nose rubbed in it. Mav's been a good sport about it, but it's not something we need to keep bringing up over and over. You know, Mav's been having a hard time with some things in real life, and you know, just like all of us. And so nobody, when they're struggling in their real life, want to immediately log into Eve and have an even tougher time. So everyone has their own struggles in this life that I get reminded on a very frequent basis, unfortunately. This morning I woke up and learned that one of my friends, his daughter had tried to commit suicide, and luckily she survived and is in the hospital recovering from that, and she'll be fine in the end. But it was a painful reminder of the struggle that everyone goes through in life, and that Eve should be a place of alleviating that. It's never going to be a super compassionate place, as the Dalai Lama would like, but I hope that Brave can ride that line between having fun in a video game and still being a good person. So enough of my my preaching on that. Not a tremendous else going on for me to talk to you about. I think people are having fun. The fleet fights are good. I'm getting good salvage. I will remind you lastly, do not salvage during a fight. I'm a big proponent of salvaging after a fight, but not in the middle of a fight. It makes people quite cross. Okay, I think that's about it. I'm going to wrap up now. Yeah, I don't have a lot else to go over with you. As usual, stay classy, have fun, and be brave. Oh, shit. Have a good one.